All right, Coach, start of a new season for you guys, and that always brings a certain level of excitement. I know you guys are going down to Florida Gulf Coast this weekend for a multi-team invitational, but really it doesn't matter who you're swimming against or where you're swimming. I know you and the entire program has to be excited to get back to competitive swimming. Not that it really ever totally stops for you guys,
Yeah.
but from a collegiate standpoint, to get back to competitive swimming.
Swimming is a unique sport in that there is no downtime, and especially this year being an Olympic year, we have some folks, Akram Mahmoud, Julia Vincent, who literally just got back from Rio a few weeks ago, and Akram enjoyed I think he had a 72-hour break between the Olympics and getting started here, so it does make for a long year, but they've done a great job so far. Our preseason training has been outstanding. I think our athletes are focused. Coming off of a big summer like we had a great representation at U.S. Olympic trials. Emma Barksdale had a great meet there. And then at the end of the summer, obviously we had the Olympics, but U.S. Open, we had some men out there that had a great meet. Tom Parabonio finished second at U.S. Open in a couple of events. Finn Manuth actually was a junior national champion this summer. It kind of flew beneath the radar because it was running at the same time as the Olympics, but he won a couple of events out at juniors for us, and so that was a big deal for him and kind of sets him up for a good year. They carried that momentum over. Training has been good. We have. We eased into the season, and now we're kind of hitting our full stride, and they're starting to put in a lot of hard work, and now's the time where we have to really kind of stay on them about staying focused. We've got to go race this weekend, and I think right now they've set themselves up to be pretty successful. We're carrying a small group down to Florida, down to Fort Myers to the Florida Gulf Coast Invite. There's going to be some great teams there. It's going to be a much deeper meet than last year. Ohio State, Virginia Tech, LSU, Grand Canyon University from out in Arizona, obviously Florida Gulf Coast, Rutgers. So some top talent in the United States is going to be there. So we're excited about racing. We'll see how we do.
When you've got the two student athletes on the roster that competed at the pinnacle of the sport, Julia in diving and Akram in swimming, and now they're back and they're in that college ecosystem and they're around their peers at this age level, what does that do, whether it's for the new student athletes that are really just kind of meeting them for the first time, but also for the teammates that have been with them for a couple of years? Mm-hmm. How do they relate to each other?
I think it's an interesting dynamic, but this group is so close as a team that when they came back, it was like they never left to go to Rio. Our team every day was cheering for Akram and cheering for Julia and watching them on TV. And we actually had a few. Taylor Worrell was down there watching her sister, so we had a few people from our program down in Rio watching. So they were not only welcome back, but they're a very close group. So. The way they view this is they win together, they lose together, they grow together. And so, I think them coming back and having the success that Akram saw and the first-time experience for Julia and doing what she did at the Olympics and bringing that back, I think elevates everybody's performance because everybody wants to do that. That's what we recruit young people that want to be at that level. And so bringing that kind of environment back into our program only helps and only sets up a big year.
To two parts. First, I guess on the men's side, you guys have really built year over year what you guys can do at NCAA's, where whether it's adding new participants and new scores, and people like Akram and Tom adding new events that they can score in. I know you've got whether it's incoming freshmen or whether it's some of those veterans that you think are ready to take the next step and contribute for you guys. And I know that's a while from now in March, but as we sit here in October, who are some of those guys on the men's side that you think are ready to add to your point total at NCAA's?
We have a young man, Will Riggs, who just finished up competition in late August out at Junior Pan Pacs in Maui, Hawaii. Had the opportunity to go out and watch him compete for Team USA. He did a great job, finished fourth in the 200 butterfly out there, was a lifetime best in the 200 fly. I think he's a young man. He has the necessary tools. I guess from a physical standpoint, he probably doesn't fit the prototypical SEC swimmer. He's a little shorter, but the young man works harder than just about anybody I've seen. And he works in well with that group. He trains with Tom Parabonio and Akram and Cody Beckemeyer, and the expectation out of that group is All-American. It's not make the meet, it's All-American. Will's going to come into that situation, and I think he's gonna thrive. Itai Golfaden is a young man who's a breaststroker from Israel, who I think has the ability. His times are there. Like, he could go race at NCAAs. We've still got some work to do with him. And then we've got a group of freshmen that we look to develop that I think have the ability to get there. They are still learning what being a SEC Division I swimmer is all about. I think a few of them, it kind of caught them off guard. They've never trained at the intensity that we're training at even now, and so they've got to grow into that. They don't have a lot of time to grow. They got to get after it. But on the men's side, I think that's a pretty good look at what our future looks like. And so then kind of looking at our women, you have Aubrey Higgs, who, again, was out at Junior Pan Pacs, swam for the Bahamas out there, had a very solid meet there. Christina Lappin is a young lady that I believe can come in and, if she can, she's a little sick right now, and we're hoping that doesn't hurt her training too much, but when she gets back on track, can develop into an NCAA qualifier. She's really going to help our relays. Should put a couple of girls' relays at NCAAs this year. We're just trying to kind of keep building these blocks and keep laying the foundation to improve. And I fully expect our women to be top 25, and the expectation for our men is to be top 15. That's what we're going to do.
And as far as returners, whether it's guys like Bolin and Bohan on the men's side, or Meredith Vey, or Emma Barksdale, who swam 3 events but didn't score last year, I'm sure you've got some returners that you expect to do bigger and better things this year.
Yeah, and I think that culture now is the expectation of making the meet, both on the men's side and the women's side. I think the men's side, you've got your guys Akram and Tom Parabonio, Niels Witt-Glossen, Cody Beckemeyer, Finn Manuth. These are guys that have been in NCAAs that we've always put a lot of pressure on Tom and Akram, and they've always responded. And now that pressure is kind of moving down towards Finn Manuth and Cody Beckemeyer and those guys to step up and score those points at NCAAs, and they kind of thrive on that. Those 2 guys really enjoy that, and so I think we're going to see great swims out of them. As far as returners with the women, Emma Barksdale is an outstanding young lady, outstanding athlete. Fully expect her to be back there this year. Taylor Worrell had an outstanding year last year, and Taylor is a much better end of season racer than she is a mid-season trainer. Her body is not built to carry heavy workloads like we do, and so we have to watch her sometimes. But at the end of the year, when she rests and comes back around, the performance that you see is just absolutely unbelievable. Meredith Vey battled last year with mono on and off through the whole year. Is still kind of having some lingering effects from kind of health issues, but I think she's going to be great. Edith Lingman is a young lady out of Kuwait who I think is going to have an immediate impact. When we talk about newcomers, she's going to come in and has the ability to be an SEC finalist and be an NCAA qualifier. So there's a ton of talent on this team. It's our coaching staff's responsibility to kind of foster that and provide them with an environment to be successful. So that's the direction we're headed.
We'll close with a look ahead to this weekend. You mentioned you're taking a little bit smaller group down there. I think maybe 12 on the men's side and 12 on the women's side. So it's not the full team, but you're going down there with a purpose in mind. When you come back and we talk next week, what is it you hope you guys have accomplished down at Fort Myers?
Well, we have some people that we want to obviously take down to score big points, but there's a few people on this roster that we want to see race. We have Kentucky, a quick turnaround with Kentucky at home after that, and then we go to Texas A&M not too long after that. So we've got some big SEC meets coming up, and we need to see what some of these freshmen can do. So there's a few folks that are going to be staying home to train and try to keep their yardage up and prepare for Kentucky and Texas A&M. But the ones we're carrying down there, we're expecting big things. So we have some freshmen that are on this list that we need to go see race and figure out how we can put them into a lineup against Kentucky and against Texas A&M where they're going to be most effective. So if we can come out of this with some fast racing, some good points, and some good knowledge for our coaches moving forward, I think it's a huge success.
Well, Coach, as always, best of luck this weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you very much.